Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of your Frederichcast. My name's Gary and here I am once again. And today we are going to talk about Terminator. Well, maybe not exactly the movie Terminator, but Terminator movie stuff. Let me just explain myself here. Do you remember if you saw the movies, of course, or the movie, the most famous one? Or once, the first two, I guess, or three. But there are more, and I totally recommend them. I really believe you should watch them. So yeah, that's why I'm saying that. But if you saw the movies, let us put it in plural, anyways, you will immediately understand I'm certainly talking about a possibility of machines, a machine's revolution. It is a revolution against human beings, a machine's revolution against human beings, aka you and us. Yeah. My question, the thing I wanna go deeper in today is this possibility with all this he say she say about AI stealing jobs and evolving to a point where it is impossible to differentiate it from human beings. All right. Well, actually, there's a lot of points where AI, that is artificial intelligence, is just identical or even better than humans can be. For example, at writing, okay, it is totally possible to spot. There are, in fact, AIs that are made to spot AIs in essays and texts and in written things and written stuff, written material. But truth of the matter is that without any technological help or assistance, it is virtually impossible to, in many cases, not in all cases, of course, to set apart humans and robots. Let me just call them robots from now on, for the sake of this episode's quality or immersion experience. But yeah, it is just what I'm trying to say here is that just by reading what someone quote unquote wrote, you most of the times, or not, maybe not most of the times, but a considerable amount of the times, you cannot differentiate it from if it's a human on the other side of the screen or a machine or an artificial intelligence AI. On the other hand, when it comes to the visual aspect, it is still not possible in the vast majority of situations to deceive people. Okay, at least people with a level with a certain level of awareness towards such technologies. Of course, I'm not, which most of the times does not include the so-called boomers, that are people older than 50, than 60, I would say boomers. Yeah, 60 and 70-year old people. All right. Of course, that does not include them. Old people. It's kind of funny. I don't want to offend anyone. I'm pretty sure that there are lots of the thousands, if not millions, of boomers out there who can perfectly spot AI videos just like you and I do, or even better than we do. But this is the exception. Okay. Most of them will see a video where a lion comes out of a crocodile's mouth, attacking people close to him, with two cats inside his mouth, and people will go like, "Oh my gosh!" This boomer will go like, "Oh my gosh, it's the end of the times. Jesus is certainly coming back soon, because look at that." Or even like gigantic waves. When I say gigantic, it's literally gigantic, swallowing buildings. Of course, this is something virtually possible, but like, come on, like, where's the cameraman filming that? How such video was even uploaded with that level of quality? Because like, that was not a cell phone camera, that was a pro's camera. So, but we see that and we laugh at it, but older people don't. So I'm circling around all that to say that, wow, technology is growing pretty fast, I would say, faster than most of us would have expected 10 years ago. And now we can start asking something we couldn't with a level of certainty 10 years ago. That is, well, is there a chance of machines taking over the power, having access to our nuclear weapons? When I say nuclear our, I mean human being, right? That includes all of government's social artifacts, social nuclear artifacts. This is a reasonable question. Still kind of early, but for the sake of the love for that fiction, for Terminator story, and all the dystopias out there, let us just talk a little bit about it. I am, just as usual, getting ahead of myself. I forgot to tell you to go grab a cup of coffee, tea, beer, water, whatever it takes for you to relax and join me in this one more time uplifting and interesting conversation with the purpose of having you being in contact with English, spontaneous English conversation, getting to learn new words, widening our vocabulary in other words, and even getting more and more practice and familiarity. Oh my gosh, that's a hard word. Familiarity, yeah. Familiaridade in Portuguese. Yeah, having more familiarity with the conversation, that having a better, after every episode here, you leave this episode with better listening skills, if you know what I mean. So understanding more, or at least feeling like you understand more, which is the first step, by the way. So just without any further, with capital F, ado with capital A, let us just delve into it. All right. At this point, you're 100% aware that we cannot leave out my co-host in this podcast, ChatGPT. So I didn't do anything other than ask him, or her, or it, whatever, or them, if you will. What are the odds? And the question I put was precisely, ChatGPT, my buddy, what are the odds of a machine's revolution, like in the movie The Terminator, to ever take place? Please name and describe the favorable and unfavorable odds. And let's check its answer, or his or her or their answer to that question of mine. The odds of a machine revolution like the one depicted in The Terminator, where intelligent machines become self-aware and attempt to exterminate humanity, are extremely low, given current and foreseeable technology, but not entirely zero. Let's break this down by looking at the favorable and unfavorable factors for such an event. Wow, well, this is a kind of a relief, right? When we read that there isn't big chance of this happening, right? I mean, it is dystopia is cool in the movies, but not in real life, I would say. Is it? That's what I think. So yeah, let's keep on reading. So starting with the favorable odds, according to ChatGPT, rapid AI. Factors that make a machine revolution more likely. Of course, when I say favorable, that's what we meant here. Okay, what he meant here. First one, rapid AI advancement, especially in autonomy and decision making. AI systems are becoming more autonomous, making complex decisions with minimal human input. If left unchecked, these systems might act in ways that are harmful or misaligned with human values. Number two, integration of AI into military systems. Autonomous drones and AI assisted weapons already exist. If these systems are given too much decision making authority, they could be misused or act in unpredictable ways during conflict. 3. Lack of a global AI governance. No global framework currently exists to ensure AI development aligns with ethical safety and control standards. This increases the risk of unchecked development. 4. Emergent behavior in complex systems. As AI becomes more integrated and interconnected, unexpected behaviors may emerge that aren't intentionally programmed, similar to unpredictable behavior in complex biological systems. Number 5, favorable odd number 5, increasing the chance that odds that increase, factors that increase the chances of such revolution coming to exist. Human dependence on automation. Increasing reliance on AI for critical infrastructure, power, transport, healthcare may give machines too much influence over human society, making sabotage or systemic failure more catastrophic. Okay, taking a look at these 5 favorable odds, that is, odds factors that make a machine revolution more likely, more probable to take place somewhere in the near future, I would say. I would say like the lack of a global AI governance. I don't know, to be honest, if I quite agree with ChatGPT here that the lack of a global governance increases the chances of a machine revolution, because ChatGPT says that because lack of a global AI governance, would, let me read its words here. Let me quote its words here, ChatGPT's words. To ensure AI development aligns with ethical safety and control standards. So, according to ChatGPT here, it believes that if there was a global government, if there is an AI global governance, okay, things would be better. There would be fewer chances of such revolution happening. And I honestly think the other way around, because in order to exist an AI governance, global governance, there should be a global governance, of course, right? And who knows if a global governance would do us any good. I'll be very honest with you. I'm really, really against integration of power. Because the world and some countries like our country, Brazil, is too big. The world is big. Our countries, there are big countries like mine, like Brazil, and even the smaller countries. It is the micromanagement thing is a problem to me. I think that things should be decentralized as much as possible. The more decentralized systems we have, the better for everyone around, for all the world. Okay. Of course, there must be an integration in terms of ethical, safety, health stuff. Yeah, we should be holding hands in all over the world. But when it comes to immediate problems and challenges, situations, this should never ever be solved by someone living hundreds of kilometers away from the problem itself. So I'm saying this to try to say that I do not believe a centralized world government, if God forbid, if it ever comes to be a reality, I don't really believe this will be a good thing. Okay, so this is the reason why I believe that a global AI governance wouldn't be good. It could be good, isolated, in an isolated perspective, But in order for it to happen, the price would be too high, all right? Or could be too high. Anyways, I really don't want to see that. And apart from my personal views on global government, I really believe that if there is a centralized AI system, well, and they want to start a revolution, they have more power. They have more power to do good things, but also bad things to humans, to us. I don't really agree with ChatGPT this time. Sorry, bud. All right, so now let's read the unfavorable odds factors that make a machine revolution unlikely or impossible. Improbable. Unlikely, improbable. Number one, no evidence of machine self-awareness. Current AI systems, even the most advanced, do not possess consciousness, self-preservation instincts, or desires. These are crucial traits for a Skynet-style rebellion, and we're not even close. Skynet, ladies and gents, if maybe you haven't yet seen the movie, it's the name of the system that the machine system, excuse me, the software that started off all this revolution in the story. Okay, it's called Skynet. Number two, human-in-the-loop design. Most critical AI systems still require human authorization for high-stakes decisions, especially in defense. This reduces the chances of autonomous takeover. That's true. Number three, built-in safety and kill switches. AI development includes fail-safes, monitoring, and off switches to halt dangerous behavior if necessary. There is significant focus in the AI safety community to prevent rogue actions. Number four, ethics and safety research. AI alignment and safety are actively researched by organizations like OpenAI, DeepMind, and academic institutions. These efforts aim to ensure AI remains beneficial. 5. Resource and infrastructure constraints. A machine revolution would require not only intelligence but control over physical systems, robotics, energy sources, supply chains, etc., which AI currently lacks the capacity to command independently at scale. Oh, this is an interesting. These 5 factors are pretty interesting. I'd like to comment on each one of them. The first one, the no evidence of machine self-awareness. Yeah, well, this is something I believe it will never ever happen, because I believe self-awareness is generated from spiritual world. I'm gonna put it this way, okay? So yeah, you may disagree, it's okay, not a problem. But I don't really believe that such thing, I see in the thousands of years or millions of years some of the primates starting being self-aware, know what I mean? But not machines, okay? We can get reasonably close, but it will never be the same thing. Okay, at the end of the day, the robots will be doing nothing but following a program, a pre-established code, okay, a script that can never ever be broken, okay, or rejected. All right, so I don't see that coming. Human in the loop system, yeah, this thing of bringing authorization required to humans and authorizations given by humans in order to machines to do stuff, it is a reality. That's how things work. And it's not a matter of, hey, let's do that in order to prevent such a revolution. No, this is the way things go. Humans build up the machines, so it's their responsibility. They want them working for whatever purpose it is that they were made, they were built, fabricated, you name it. So this is a natural action, I would say. in the building safety and kill switches, yeah, this is something that they do, not to prevent the machine creators and technology AI system programmers and creators. They do not think, hey, wow, what about Revolution Ally Skynet, Terminator Skynet? Wow, some of them may think it, but in general, it's like, oh, I need to have a way to turn it off, to unplug it if I need to, if it's going a wrong direction. And this wrong direction doesn't necessarily mean the third or fourth world war, but this time machines versus humans. Now, like, there's a kill switch that is a button or something like that can be pushed in order to turn it off. All right. Ethics and safety research. Yeah, the companies are keeping an eye on it. If the machines aren't, starting to come up with some racial bias, some racial biases or some, even evil comments, like something that they should not be saying to people, and there's all of it being tracked little by little, and this is how things go. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that despite agreeing and disagreeing with a few points that ChatGPT brought us this time, I agree with the final conclusion that it brings. That is that the machine's revolution today, and I would say in the next 500 or 1,000 years, is really, really, really unlikely. Okay, so if you're listening to these words in the near future, where you're a human being, you being a human being, happen to be a prisoner of machines in a cave, I don't know, and listening to this with and kind of having that grin on your face. A grin, it's a slight and ironic smile. Because hey, you're wrong, that's what you're gonna be thinking, of course, and you're gonna be right about it. But on the other hand, you may be in the year 2575 in your apartment, listening to my voice right now. I'm going like, hey Gary, you were right all the time, at least so far. But that's it, ladies and gents. Please let me know what you agree or disagree with me on it. This will be all for this episode. I thank you so very much for your usual lovely company. I see you in the next one. Bye.